Hello and welcome back to Chapter 4. I apologise, I have a bit of a tickle in my throat today. I have a mint in my mouth to try and stop myself from coughing, but if I randomly stop, it's because of the mint. Let's get started. Run to the hills. There you are. Oh, hey Kirby. Yukimura, sitting idly on the veranda, broke into a smile when he saw me. When did you sneak out of your room? Everyone's looking for you. It was too boring just laying around all day. But how else will your wounds heal? I'm fine. But, geez, you really are a nagging tanuki. The madder you get, the more you look like one. Yukimura then let out a laugh. The profile of his face was unchanged from before. Or at least that's how it appeared. But we are brother and sister. As your sister, I promise I'll always stay by your side. That day he'd been terribly depressed, but I knew that was the right thing to say. A few days later, I was now sure of it. Regardless of whatever blood connection we may or may not have had, he was my brother. Everyone around believed so, and that's how I thought of him as well, as a dear brother. And besides, whatever he's feeling for me aren't truly his own feelings. They could have been the feelings of my true lost brother. Yukimura was only thinking of those feelings as his own. Not that there was any way to be sure of that, with my brother gone and my own memories faint. What are you two doing? I suddenly noticed Hanbei standing behind me. Hanbei, how long have you been there? A while. Hanbei smiled slightly and then sat down on the veranda. Neither of you seem to notice me at all. You just... let me start that one again. Neither of you seem to notice me at all, just staring at each other. Yukimura and I exchanged a glance. A blush blossomed on both my and Yukimura's cheek. And we are going to pretend not to understand. What are you talking about, Hanbei? Really, I don't like the way you phrase that. I was simply checking to see how much my sister's face resembled that of a tanuki. Yukimura! Both of our mouths dropped open at Hanbei's laughter. Hanbei cleared his throat and then returned to his usual serious expression. I apologize, I just thought it was nice to see you two getting along so well. By the way, Yukimura, how are your wounds? Hardly a problem, I'll be ready for battle by tomorrow. Yukimura gave a quick show of his ability to move. Watching him off to the side, I too felt relieved to see. Thank goodness that he was healing quickly, despite how serious his injuries had looked. I thought that Hanbei took... I think there's a bit of a problem with that sentence. I thought that Hanbei looked somehow relieved. That's wonderful, but still, I beg you to not push yourself before you're ready. Hanbei's right, you have a tendency to be careless. You guys don't have to tell me that, I promise. I'll be good and take it easy. Yukimura gave a light wave of his hand and then turned to Hanbei with a serious gaze. So, how fares the war? Masamune and Kotaro have the castle well protected. I see. Yukimura nodded and then bowed his head toward Hanbei. I apologize to you, to Masamune and Kotaro, and to all the troops. Due to my actions, our casualties have increased. That's an unusually admirable thing for you to admit. Hanbei smiled sarcastically. Rather than apologize, just take care that it doesn't happen again. Masamune had said Yukimura was injured going off alone to help an isolated soldier, but Yukimura casually shook his head. I can't make that promise. Yukimura. Hanbei frowned, but Yukimura didn't back down. I won't abandon the men who trust and follow us. That won't do anyone any good. However, I will be more careful not to be injured next time. Hanbei sighed and shrugged, and then stood up. I can see there's no convincing you, so I suppose we can make that compromise. Are you finished lecturing me yet? You understand better than I expected, so I'm inclined to forgive and forget. Hanbei gave a quick bow to me and then left. Again, Yukimura and I were left alone. As the conversation ground to a halt, a little awkwardness set in. And we are going to change the subject. By the way, Yukimura, don't you have to reapply your medicine? Yukimura answered me with a gaze still averted. Yeah, but don't you worry about that. I'll get someone else to do it. But... I started to speak and then stopped short. Yes, that was for the best. For a while, it would be best if Yukimura and I avoided being alone together. I see. Please do. I'll be helping out in the kitchen anyway. You? Helping in the kitchen? Yeah, what about it? Help, huh? I would just expect a Tanaki would be more of a bother than a help here. Yukimura! Yukimura laughed, looked up at me, and then looked away again. From beside him, I watched his expression change. It looked like he were holding back anger. What's wrong? You look angry all of a sudden. Yukimura? Hanbei is a good man. Huh? What made you change your mind? I didn't change my mind. I felt that way for a long time. He's always been a little sarcastic, but deep down he's not all that. At the point, Yukimura suddenly stopped and tilted his head. That's not right. I feel like he used to be a much nicer guy. But I also have the impression that he's always been mean. Why would that be? Yukimura was thoroughly puzzled. I guessed that perhaps his memories had been scrambled. The fiancé I could remember in my faint memories had been a kind person. But the way that Yukimura spoke about him, could Yukimura and Hanbei have known each other in the other world the dagger had spoken of? Yukimura apparently had grown weary of wondering. He slapped his legs and then spoke. Anyway, Hanbei's a good guy. You should have married him. Astounded, I replied, Why are you bringing that up now? That issue's already long since over. It is not over. Yukimura roared and then shook his fist. If it hadn't been for that, I would have... Yukimura made no move to look at me. We are going to feel angry. As I stared at Yukimura's profile, I felt myself getting extremely angry. If it weren't for that, then what? Then what? I already knew. It was I who had gotten Yukimura and the others involved in this war. That was where everything had started, so whatever Yukimura was worried about, it was my fault. I had no right to blame him. But even so, I also couldn't accept his feelings like this. After a heavy silence, Yukimura struggled to speak. Sorry. You're right, it's no use. I have nothing to do with whatever happened between you two. Yukimura stood up and started to walk off. Where are you going? I must be a little loopy from oversleeping. I'm just going to walk it off before I say anything else. But if you do that, you'll wounds. I'll take it easy, I promise. With a final casual smile, Yukimura turned the corner and disappeared. I stood rooted into place, unable to go after him. The sun shone on the courtyard. In here, you'd never know there was a war going on outside. Maybe I should just confess everything. How I lost all my relatives, watched the castle burn, and turned to the dagger for help. How I'd summoned Yukimura and the others here in exchange for trading out my memories. That everything Yukimura remembered of the past were my real late brother's memories. If, even after knowing all those truths, he still had feelings for me. If he did, then what? I felt my cheeks redden at my own whisper. I liked Yukimura. His easygoing optimism and bright personality were soothing in the midst of this time of war. But it's impossible. If he knew, he would surely hate me. He might even wish to return to his own world. Hey, you. In a quiet voice, I addressed the dagger. Hello. What can I help you with? The people that I brought here, if they found out the truth, what would happen? Would they want to go back to their own old worlds? Well, it's certainly a possibility that they would return. The false memories are the only tie to this land. Without them, returning them would be an easy feat. I see. I don't want that. No, I don't want Yukimura to go back. That was a spontaneous whisper of my heart. Just how selfish a woman could I be? Summoning them all here, hurting them, and now whining about not wanting them to leave? Them? Suddenly I realized something. Was it really all of them going back to their own worlds that I was opposed to? No. It was Yukimura. But, Princess, you really don't have to do any of that. I had asked to help, but had been turned out of the kitchen again. They had been polite enough, but I still got the impression that my presence was a bother. So I'd gone to the sewing room to help with the mending, but had been met with the same attitude. It's fine, I'm not very good, but I'll be more help here than in the kitchen. So please, let me at least do what I can. Half by force, I grabbed some sewing to do and brought it back to my room. In the last of the fading evening light, I donned the soldier's clothing. Each piece was well worn from the daily battles. Tears, bite marks. I could tell by the clothing just how different a war with demons was than a war with humans. As I sewed, I felt my feelings becoming calmer. It's nice to do some sewing once in a while. I'd always preferred horseback riding, tree climbing, and archery to more ladylike activities. I wasn't good at sewing, so I never expected that needlework would be so calming. When my heart grew quiet, it became apparent what I had to do. I have to tell them. Sooner or later, I had to tell them of the terrible crimes I had committed. But as of now, I couldn't afford to have them leave. I knew it was selfish of me, but I didn't want any more people to die. We were too weak. That's why we lost, and why everyone had died. I knew it was one of the natural consequences of war, but I couldn't stand to see any more death. But once the war was over, I would tell them. Then, even if they were angry at me, I would be prepared to accept the blame for my sins. So at least until the war was over, I wanted to be on friendly terms with Yukimura. Of course, this too was just my own selfish desire, but still. How long can I go about... let me get that right again. But how can I go about making it up to him? Brother or not, I'd only just met him. I had no earthly idea what I could do. Oh my goodness, is this? I noticed a belt jumbled in among the pile of clothing I was carrying. I wonder if this is Yukimura's. No, that wasn't right. This wasn't Yukimura's, it was my brother's belt. I'd never seen the one Yukimura used, but if I recognize this as my brother's, it must be so. But how did it get here? I idly traced my finger along its surface. It was a flowery slate grey coloured belt, a colour brought back a memory. Forgive me! Huh? All of a sudden a voice echoed within my head. What's with those flowers? I picked them. For me? Yep, so don't be mad anymore. It hurts too much to see you mad at me. I couldn't remember his face. I couldn't even clearly remember his voice. But yet inside of me something was still there. The slate grey colour of the flowers my brother had picked for me. Flowers for forgiveness. I felt like my brother had taught me that. Something warm brushed against my cheek. Since the night the castle had fallen, I'd had no spare time to cry. As if the dam had been broken through, all of those pent-up tears now flowed freely. Can you forgive me for forgetting you? Forgive me, brother, for never realizing how you felt about me. Forgive me for my feelings now toward Yukimura. I felt like I heard the words, yes, I forgive you. It seemed as if this belt had come here to give me that message. Maybe that was just a convenient delusion, but I wanted to believe it was true. By the time I finished my sewing, it was late into the night. The place my brother had picked flowers had been on castle grounds, but outside the central bailey. I'd heard the demons had surrounded the castle at a distance, but maybe I could still go. Of course, if I said anything, I'd be stopped. Not that I felt like obliging an attendant anyway. I could wait until morning, I thought, but in the end my impatience won out. That spot has a good lookout. As long as I'm careful, I should be fine. Taking a secret path, I snuck quietly out of the castle. This is going to end badly, I know it. Yes. The land lay in ruin as far as I could see, but the flowers I sought had somehow survived. Now all I had to do was quickly pick them. I casually walked over toward them and then let out a scream. Ah! Someone had abruptly popped up from where they were crouched in the middle of the flowers. I thought it was a demon, but quickly realized it was not. They too shouted in surprise. Hey! Yukimura? Kirby! Yukimura's eyes were wide. What are you doing here? I came to pick some flowers. What are you doing? Yukimura averted his gaze and awkwardly scratched his head. After a moment of struggling, finally desperate, he spat out a curt answer. I thought that maybe if I gave you flowers, it would cheer you up. So you came all the way out here? So what if I did? Is that so wrong? Yukimura's tone was politely annoyed. We are going to tell him it's okay. No, nothing's wrong with that. The one who'd always brought me flowers after a fight had been my real brother. But maybe I could believe that it truly was Yukimura himself that wanted to make up. It's a good thing I was here. What if a demon had attacked you all on your own? Yukimura thrust the bouquet of flowers at me. Come on, let's go back. I already got the flowers, so I don't need any more. Let's enjoy these flowers together. Yes, you're right. I dropped my gaze to the bouquet and gently pressed my cheek against Yukimura's chest. Hey, what's the matter? Maybe it was my imagination, but it felt like Yukimura's heart was racing. Yukimura? What? There's something I have to tell you. What is it? Not yet. Once this is all over. Once it was over, I would tell him. Then I would be prepared to accept whatever happened. I don't really get it. Once the war is over, you're going to tell me something, right? I nodded and Yukimura, for some reason, smiled. Understood. I can't wait. I think he's got the wrong idea. But anyway, that is it for chapter 4. I will see you all in the next chapter. Bye.